We're back.
We're back.
Things have happened.
It is Jeans Club 2.
It's very exciting. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
But I think we're both surprised that we've acted on something.
Well, I was just saying this morning, I was like, we were saying that this is going to be a slow make, but we've seemed to have gone faster than I was expecting.
Yeah, than expected. Not fast.
But it might be like, different stages go faster, don't they?
Yeah,
and especially at the beginning of a project, it's quite exciting.
You're excited, yeah. I reckon once I get to the top stitching, I'll be like, I'll do a little bit today, maybe in a few weeks.
Well, that one, you don't really want to rush because no one wants to be unpicking.
Yeah, that's the thing. It needs to be so precise. But what we said we'd do is really think about the fit of these jeans. So if you haven't seen episode 1, Chloe and I are making our ultimate jeans pattern.
Yeah.
We're both making version 3.
Yes, so that's the mum jeans, a bit of a slouchier version, like cropped, like
very 80s.
Well, you can fold them over.
Yeah, I guess you fold them where you want to, but
but that sort of shorter neckline,
and
I'm looking for sort of like an everyday, very comfortable, very well fitting pair of jeans.
Exactly.
And very well made. So we're going to take our time on fitting them.
Yes.
So that's what we decided last time. We talked all through what we were going to do, and now
we've done it. Maybe.
Now we're in the next stage. Yes. So.
Do you want to go?
Should I start? Because I think we've got more to say on your one.
Chat about this.
So I'm not as far. So what I've done is, in the Ultimate Jeans Stitch School class, it actually had this really helpful little sheet that you can download.
Oh, show them. Close, that's so
Here
nice.
we go. And this is about taking your measurements. So before, it's really hard, isn't it? As soon as you start thinking of a project, you want to go and buy fabric.
Yes.
You want to immediately start. But
not for this one. Not the way we're doing it.
I'm holding back, and I'm going with the measurements. So I downloaded my sheet because with jeans and with trousers in general, there's a couple of extra measurements that I've never taken before.
Yeah. It's not just waist and hips, is it?
So
it's
the front rise and the total rise. So you know that before because you've done your block.
I've made my trouser block, which is all to do with those measurements. So yes, I wouldn't know them by heart like I know my bust, waist, and hips.
Because you just don't use them as much, do you?
Exactly.
So basically this is my sheet.
Love it.
And it shows where I've measured myself, and I've drawn some notes on here as well. And then you can put it all in here, and then you have a look and see where you are on the pattern.
Compare it to the chart.
Yeah.
So good.
So the first one is the hip. So that's, it's not, it's the waist. And that's your natural waist, so where you bend.
Yeah, this one.
So that one, and that's
where you find it.
I'm used to taking that one.
Yeah.
And then the hips. Now, that one's, I find that one a little bit tricky. I don't know what other people think.
I go by my fullest part.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's technically the hip, but I always just go by my
And I suppose you can kind of see it in this dress,
higher or lower.
My fullest part is actually here. But
that's the thing.
I don't know.
I think that is.
And it then goes in and out. So I've kind of drawn that on my sheet and
nice.
taken 2 measurements.
I love it. That's really good though.
Yeah.
But I think it's. And you want to make sure that the finished garment fits you, which means that the finished garment should fit the widest part.
The widest part,
That's
to
how
go
I
for the
think
widest
of it,
part would be here. So then, I'll explain then what I did when I thought about the pattern. And then the inside leg, so from the top of the crotch, from here down to the ankle where I want it to hit. And then, so this one was hard when you're taking this measurement on your own.
Yeah,
I can imagine if you're in this is where measuring somebody when you're in a tailor's.
Yes.
This is the kind of thing they do. When I was thinking of that Friends episode.
Oh yes, that's just how they take the measurements.
That's how they take the measurements. If anyone knows it, that's the Chandler going to Joey's tailor.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
So we're talking about that measurement. And the way that I did it was, and it said you could do this. Yeah, so this is in the video as well for Stitch School. Is you actually put a pair of fitting trousers on. So I had leggings on. And then, and you said you can be careful. So you take the leggings off, and then on the outside, pin either the tape measure with a safety pin, not like a
Yeah,
normal
that's
pin,
clever though.
where the seam is, because that's where you're talking. It's where the point of the seam size, and then put it back on.
So you're attached.
Yes, then you know that's in the right position. You're not having to sort of do this and then stand up and do that, and then measure to where your waist
That's
is.
so clever.
Yeah.
God, our classes full of very, very good tips.
Yeah.
There you go.
I thought that was
amazing.
pretty smart.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and then the full rise is obviously from the back all the way around. There we go. And so then I did that on here, and then I sort of went on to the details of the pattern.
The
And
size chart.
size
And so you're
chart.
looking a little bit at measurements, but also at finish measurements?
Yeah, so I did both. So I looked at the body measurements. The body measurements, it sort of went and it sort of put me in a sort of a size 19, between 18 and 20.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the finished garment measurements. Now, it is fitted at the top, but a bit more baggier. So that's yeah. So basically, it still sort of put me in on the sort of 19. So what I've decided to do is, because my widest bit here was probably like 20, I'm cutting a 20 up at the waist.
Yeah.
And then from just below the hips, I've just graded down to the 18.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then what I'm expecting is maybe there might be a little bit
of adjustment
It
there.
depends where it sits on the waist.
Quite
So
waist.
yeah, so
quite high.
we'll see. But that's what I'm expecting. So that's
Nice. So when you say a 19, it's just like
Yeah.
if you're in between two sizes and you feel like your measurements land you right in the middle. Like we sometimes even cut for samples and things like that. We literally draw a line in between size 12 and 14 because there are 13.
And that's what's that's what's nice about the nested patterns.
Yes.
That you can see all the different sizes, and you can just
Draw
move
in the
that
middle.
line slightly. See what
Yeah.
happens.
Cool.
But I'm going to go with the bigger.
Yeah.
Even though I've measured a bit under, because always easier to pinch in.
I think I did watch some of the class as well, and Becca, who taught the class, some of it, I think Rosie teaches it as well. But Becca said, like, if you're in the size, like undecided between two sizes, just go bigger because it will be easier to reduce, and definitely.
And I'm making a toile, is that how you say it?
Yeah, you're toile.
I shall toile.
I shall toile.
So
Today I'm toile.
And then I can adjust a little bit.
Then you can adjust more, like refine.
So then
Brilliant.
I've got my project bag here, so cute, and I've cut my pattern out. All my
you've
pattern
done it,
pieces.
amazing.
Yes, my pattern pieces
Brilliant.
are in there.
And big question, have you found a fabric that you want to use?
No, because then I was looking in my stash to see if there was anything like just
Close.
leftovers. But it's the only thing I've got enough.
No.
I've got sort of like lots of like 1.5 meters.
Yeah.
Or 1 meter.
Yeah.
That's just not gonna.
Do you do a patchwork jeans?
Maybe I shall.
Front one way, back another.
And also, there's quite a lot of cord. I've got a lot of cord.
Oh,
but I didn't know whether. I don't know. I feel like cord.
It will work. It will look great.
But do you think it kind of like fits differently than
if it's
what denim
stretchy?
would? Yeah.
So some cords that we've
There is a
sold
bit
in the
of
past, there is
stretch,
some stretch to it. So that would be a completely different story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then
So
there's no point doing
no,
that.
if you want your final
It's just,
pair to be non-stretch denim, then find something non-stretch.
so maybe it might be a patchwork, or I'm hoping maybe the charity shop will throw up a
Yeah.
bit of
I can
tablecloth
recommend the
or
tablecloth, honestly.
So, which leads us nicely to. You need a project bag.
I need a project bag, it's true. I've got a broken envelope, it's not a good look. So, I said in the last episode, previously on Jeans Club, that I was going to do a lot of adjustments before I even started to cut my fabric. And I did. So I went, I looked at the measurements. Yes, thank you. You hold that one.
Sorry,
Yeah, thank you. I looked at the measurements where I felt. So usually in most of our patterns I'm a size 10, but I know that if things are fitted at the hip, I tend to grade to a 12.
So this area.
So this area, exactly. So, you know, if it's a circle skirt or something like that, I don't need to. But if it's something fitted, then I usually do. So I double checked all the measurements, and yes, I decided that I definitely wanted to do 10 at the waist, grading to a 12. So I did that and learned from my mistakes, because when I was grading, usually if it's just one front pant leg, one back pant leg, then it's very straightforward to grade. I did not think before I started doing all the adjustments that, for example, the back. Do you have the back?
It's in pieces.
It's in pieces. So annoying. I realised in time, luckily, before I cut the fabric. But so I was like, oh great, this is the top of the back leg. Great. I'm going to grade from a 12 to a 10. Wrong. Because this is the top of the back leg. So I had to rejig some things and make sure that the 10 that I was grading to was in the yoke, not at the top of the main leg part, let's say. And then
that's not right, is it?
it is right, but it's wrong. It is right, but it's wrong. There's a lot of little adjustments. But anyway, that's the first thing to keep in mind if you're grading.
Yeah.
Maybe attach with some what's that nice tape, like
washi tape?
Washi tape, exactly. With some washi tape, like attach your two pieces, the yoke and the main leg, overlapping by the seam allowance, so as if they were sewn together. Don't just pop it there, it needs to go in the seam allowance. And then do your grading. And same for the front actually, because there is a pocket piece here. So again, don't make the mistake of grading from one size here to one size here, to the top of the leg is here.
Yeah, so you
So
need all
think about it.
Cut out all your pieces.
Yes. See what goes where.
Maybe lay it out, look at things as sort of...
Maybe even look through the instructions to see what attaches to what, if you're not completely clear, and then do your grading. So first thing was that. I also measured my thighs. Sat down, like at the most strain, basically. I measured the circumference of my thigh at its fullest, and I checked the thigh of the size 10, and I was like, no, that's not enough ease for me. So I thought,
how did you check the thigh of the size 10?
So you have to, it's not a measurement that we include, you measure it on the pattern. So I checked like where I was measuring myself down from the crotch, basically, I don't know, 10 centimeters, say. I measured there, and then I went same on the pattern piece, 10 centimeters down, how much is this, front leg, how much is this, back leg, total, take off the seam allowance, and check if you're happy with that. And so in the size 10, it wasn't enough ease for me. It would fit, but I wanted a little bit more room. So I committed to the size 12 for the thigh as well, and the rest of the leg, I decided, quite happy with that. So that was the first bit, it was the grading. Then it was the crotch curve turning, which I do by overlaying my trouser block, which is made to my exact measurements, overlaying it over the pattern. Now, it's not a massive difference in this one. I'm quite close to the sew over it block, so the difference is not huge, but on some patterns it's literally like my curve does this and the pattern is doing that. Like it's so different. On this it's not that different, but hopefully you can still see that there's something going on. So let me see what I've got here. It's basically more, so the curve down here is quite similar as what it was on the pattern, but then it goes in a lot more. This is the back, so I guess that's to do with my tail. So I have that curve is very pronounced, so that's why you see it going like that.
Take it in
steeper. Yeah, it's a steeper curve. And then on the front, this was a little bit tricky because there is a fly front here on the jeans. So had this been, say, the ultimate trousers that just have like a seam at the front and a side zip, had it been that, I would have angled that a little bit more. So my trouser block was telling me to go in a little bit more towards the body. No, towards the side seam, sorry. So it would be a curve that goes a little bit more that way. But because you need that flat front to then attach the facing for the zip and all of that, I was like, oh, I don't think I want to mess with that. I need a straight line here, not something that goes like that. And
you don't want to risk having a
wonky zip. Exactly. Yes. So I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna smooth that line as much as I can.
Yeah.
It's still a little bit like don't know.
It's like you've gone between sizes.
I've gone between sizes because again, there's a size 12 here and a size 10 here, but also there's that. It's almost flatter.
Yeah.
Like this is my front curve, and it's hopefully you can see something, but let's see if it catches it. It's a little bit of a different curve, basically, is what it is. But I did those changes. Check that all my pieces fitted. The other thing that I ended up doing, and this was born out of my mistake from earlier that I talked about.
Yeah.
So not altering the back piece correctly because I'd forgotten about the yoke. When I then realised my mistake, I then decided, I can't remember why, but I think I remember that very often I've altered the waistband, but I haven't altered the top of the trousers.
Okay.
So I always end up taking a little bit more in the centre back after, as an afterthought, and it never looks quite as neat. So I decided to take off a centimetre at the back, centre back seam on the back. Did the same with. No, didn't do the same. Then I matched. I took off a centimetre there. Then I matched my yoke to my back.
So you weren't taking a full centimetre.
I wasn't. Not all the way up.
Okay, nice.
But it kind of ended up being all the way up, but it's spread different because I was trying to make the yoke match. This is very confusing, sorry. But I still wanted my yoke piece to match. So if you see, this is going out on this side. This protrudes a little bit, which at the start I was like, oh, that's wrong, but no, it's not, because you're sewing these two pieces at an angle, so that when you're sewing it, it is like this.
And then once it goes up, it's actually...
So that's actually smooth.
Yeah.
Not right now, but yeah. Anyway, because I was tweaking various things, I ended up taking some length out of the back seam of the trouser leg and of the back yoke. And then what happened is that when I sewed up my toile, ta-da, which is what I'm wearing, ta-da, I made it up exactly as I cut it, so with all those changes, and then I put on one waistband, so it's a double waistband in the end, but just for toiling purposes, I was like, I'll just sew one on, and I'll probably end up altering it to make it curved, which is something I usually do.
Yeah.
But I've put on the straight waistband, which I reduced by 1 centimetre in the centre back, but there is no centre back seam, it's straight. But I just...
step forward a little bit so you can see.
Thank you.
There. We're talking about this bit here. But that sits nice
but
and
that
flat.
sits really nicely. And I'm
so
really
that's the bit
by
that I was taking that centimetre that she was talking about, sort of
so I took it from here. Sorry to point on my butt.
From like
here
the tailbone upwards.
Here, and here in the
so you
waistband, I just made it shorter.
And when you're talking about the curved waist, that usually because you'd have a gaping here.
Yeah,
so then you do a sort of slight curve to make it sit back.
But actually, that sits quite nicely.
Yeah.
I think if I pull it as the button would be.
Yeah, because remember the button's not on it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think there's no gaping.
No, I wouldn't say that needs anything.
That's a new revelation for me. Like, if you look from the side, no gaping. No gaping.
Yeah.
And for that, because I'd removed 1 centimetre from the centre back from the other pieces, I just overlapped my straight waistband by 1 centimetre, which ends up being 2 because this one's cut as one piece. The other pieces are cut as half.
Yeah.
So always keep in mind those things.
It's a lot of maths.
It's a lot of maths. It's a lot of writing things down. So I kept going. Oh, adjusted this piece. Make sure you adjust piece F next. Like making a map for myself. But I am extremely happy with this.
I mean, I think the fit is really good.
They fit nicely. I feel like they're not too tight. So I think
no, because you can see that there's
a little bit of room, which is not like too much. Like I'm happy. I feel quite comfortable in them.
Yeah.
Like they're not. I'm not making skinny jeans. I don't want that. That's not what I want.
Yeah.
I want comfortable, kind of wearable every day, as you said,
yeah.
and I will make them in denim, so hopefully very sturdy. This, I should say, I skipped all of the top stitching, as in top stitching with a different thread. I just used one thread. What did I skip? I skipped the back pockets, I skipped the coin pocket, but I still made the pockets at the front, which I have to say, I think I'm going to make longer pockets in my final.
Well, as we know, Alma loves
I love a pocket, and I love them big.
Yeah, well, when you know what you're going to be putting in your pocket, if you're someone that likes to carry the phone and their keys and things, then and that's the thing, because you want to be able to move like that and things not fall out. So
yes, exactly. So I might do that's something I discovered with the Toile.
Whereas if you're making a more fitted pair of jeans, like the really nice fitted one, you might not want such a huge pocket.
No,
because that's not quite going to work.
It's going to look odd. This, I think there's just enough room to make them like.
Yeah, I think in the slouchy style, you
can do.
And you didn't put the pockets on the back.
I didn't put the pockets on the back, which I will definitely in the final one, because I think they look like jeans, right?
Yeah,
it looks proper. But those were my shortcuts. But I love them. I love them. This fabric, if you didn't hear in episode 1, it's a tablecloth. I found them vintage, very cheap. I had just over 2 meters, which was plenty for this. And I also shortened the trousers. I should have said that as well. So again, on the paper pattern, before cutting anything, I usually shorten our patterns by 5 centimeters as a rule. And I think, I can't really show you, but these will be worn sort of cropped, as we said. And I think I've got plenty there.
I'll describe them if you can't see them. So Alma is wearing her trousers with 2 rolls at the bottom and is hitting just at the top of her socks.
Yeah. So I think
it's that nice ankle length.
Yeah, ankle grazing.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I can imagine you wearing those trainers.
Yeah. But also sandals.
Sandals in the summer.
These feel like my summer jeans.
I really like where it's hitting.
Yeah, very happy with where it's hitting. I think what I'm going to do now, because I am very, very happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
It's just nice when you're like, okay, this will make sense. This will make sense, and then it does. And it's so nice.
Are you going to make any more changes?
No, I don't think so. Apart from the pockets, I might lengthen.
Okay.
I think I'm not. Yeah, my only further thing was to make a curved waistband, but I'm honestly very happy. I don't need that. Yeah. So what I'm going to do though is finish these. So put the waistband on.
Because you're making it as like a wearable.
Exactly, a wearable toile. Put the button on and wear them around the house
that's a good idea.
Before I make like the decision to make my final ones, because I want to know, with jeans you want to know you can do stuff.
Can I eat and be a little?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's all be honest.
Can I walk the dog in them? Although they'll be too nice maybe to walk the dog in, but still.
I feel like they might wash up very well.
Yeah, that's true. But can I don't know, kneel? Can I crouch? Can I like pick up things on the floor? Like I just want to know if they're actually wearable in that sense, because I'm very happy with how they look when I'm standing still. So my next stage will be testing them out, and then if I'm happy, I'm going to go and use exactly that pattern. If I'm not, if I'm thinking, I actually need a bit more ease in the thighs, I need a bit more ease in the bum or something, like that's when I'll change something. But in theory, I'm very, very happy. So good journey.
Well done.
But
so I'm going to crack on and make
your toile. So hopefully next time
you see us, I shall be wearing something.
I'm very excited to see it. I'm excited to see what fabric you find to use for the purpose. And I'm excited to talk.
Yeah, see how
that's a very
I want to see what it
way.
then looks, because obviously we're making the same version of the jeans. So I want to see what they then look on me, because we're very different body shapes.
Yes.
And it's I think that's always quite interesting.
That's very
how it
interesting
ends
to see the
up.
Pattern.
See if I have to make any adjustments.
I think it will be interesting if you do have to make some adjustments, how the process is different from doing them before, doing them after.
Going back to the pattern.
Going backwards.
And adding those things in. What does it then look like?
Because that's more common. That's more what people do.
Yeah.
Because I think that's probably more.
Well, it's because you know these patterns so well that you know.
And I know my
adjustments,
curves and adjustments quite well. Like I've made these kind of alterations quite a lot. So yeah, it's a different approach. Whereas these will be your second pair of trousers that you've ever made, which is mad to me.
I made some Peggies.
Oh, you made Peggies?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Whipped some Peggies up.
Chloe made some Nina trousers that are gorgeous.
I love Ninas.
Beautiful. And okay, so you've made Peggies, so again with the zip fly.
So I've done two.
Some practice.
Yeah, I've done 2 flies in. Neither of them came out perfect, but that's okay.
Wearable though.
Wearable. And that's the thing, you just get better.
You're learning.
Yeah.
I should say as well that so with a toile you can do as little or as much as you want. Because I wanted to make a pair of trousers that I will wear, because I do like this fabric.
Yeah.
I did do the fly proper, like with all the, all the process of putting in the zip is exactly as the pattern.
Yeah. But if you were just doing this in like a
calico,
kind of thing, calico,
you could just leave it. Basically, you fold it under the seam allowances and you pin it together as you're wearing it. But I want to see. I think the zip is such an essential part of it that I think take your time. Like I use just a regular zip rather than a
metal jeans.
Yeah. So that made it a little bit easier, I guess, a bit quicker. But I just think to see that shape, what's going on here, I would recommend doing it. I know it's time consuming, but if you're making a wearable one rather than a muslin one, then it's not wasted time.
Yeah,
True. And I also put it in the pockets for the same reason. I just wanted to see to make these wearable, and I wanted some kind of pocket. But apart from that, I just skipped all the top stitching. Yeah, that makes it a lot faster.
Took for you to.
I actually just made them yesterday. So I would recommend doing this. Did all my alterations one day, left it. I didn't try and go straight from paper to fabric. I think that helped a lot because then yesterday I suddenly realised I had free time and I was like, oh, well I've cut it, the fabric's pre-washed, I can just do it now. So I cut it in the morning and then I sewed it up, I'd say an afternoon. Like it didn't take loads of time.
But maybe that's the thing, isn't it, with when you're doing a bigger project like the jeans.
Down.
Yeah, so it's like, this time I just spent just 2 hours doing the measurements, looking at the pattern, cutting the pattern out, get everything all together in a box, and then that was that. And then it's ready for future you to do the next. And probably what I'll do is once I've got the fabric and pre-washed it, I'll probably maybe cut out all the fabric pieces one day and then leave that. Yes, because that's an hour. That's a lot. That's an hour I could do quite quickly. Although I have to say, I was surprised that it's not as many pattern pieces as I thought. No, I thought that as well. It's so complex, right? Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's not as many as you think. And also, I should mention the pocket construction I love. Oh, really? It's really good. Okay. Yeah, and you can use scraps for the pocket, the inside of the pocket. Like, so if you're using denim on the outside, you can use like a really pretty cotton. Oh, so it's nice. It's not so inside. Yeah, it's actually sewing through so much denim. Yeah, because this was fine because this isn't too thick. Yeah. But with my final jeans, I'll definitely do that. I'll choose a scrap of precious fabric from my archives. Yeah. But it's just constructed really cool. So yeah, I think toiling is obviously very, very good for fitting, but also you kind of get to practice all the steps, which I found nice. The construction. Yeah, the construction. I was like, okay, so this is how the pocket works. Okay, this is how the zip goes in. Because I'd say it's a little bit different. It's definitely different from the Nina trousers. I think I'm going to say it's easier. Oh, really? But I don't want to jinx it. Okay. We'll see. You found made more sense for you. It felt less fiddly for me. There's just something about it. Maybe they're exactly the same and I'm going crazy, but I'm pretty sure there was something about it, like where you first put that zip, that I was like, interesting. I just liked it. I thought it came together well. Anyway, enough chatting. I think we could chat forever and ever. Let us know if you're joining if you're going to join with Jeans Club with us, or if you have made jeans. What changes did you do? What did you find? What did you discover? Yeah, what did you discover? And if you need any, tips and tricks, let us know what you'd like us to focus on. Maybe once we start making the final jeans, because that would be a whole different. Like talking top stitching thread, top stitching style. I don't know. But I was just suddenly thought maybe we could do a little sew along if we're doing like a little.
Maybe just for
a particular
the
bit.
top stitching bits.
For a particular bit of
maybe.
it. We could always because we've got sewing machines here, which actually are way nicer than my machines. So I was already thinking of which bits I might want to do here.
Do you know what we could do? We could do the back pockets because it'd be fun. I've always wanted to do like a really nice design on the back pocket.
Yes.
Because I think we give a few ideas in the class, the ultimate guide to sewing and fitting jeans.
I really like that.
There's different templates. That could be fun if we choose.
We did that together
and we did that together in the office because then it's just two little pockets. You know, it's not a whole thing. And then those will be perfect, and everything else will be stitched like this because we've done it at home. But yeah, if you've got any ideas, let us know. Let us know.
And stay tuned for part 3.
A few weeks.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Bye.
Bye.